We'll see what happens. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. You're joined again with Marshall Hill from the Pints Polishing Podcast and Hyperclean Car Care Products, and Sean Gervais from the OrbisX CRM. I switched things up and went a little backwards there this time because we're going to take a deep dive into the OrbisX CRM. But before we get there,
I, s- I switched things up too. You are
oh
seeing me blurred out from a home recording.
yeah, that is
I'm
different,
getting
and it's
demolished
different.
by the snow outside and sleet and ice and all that fun stuff. So,
Yeah, yeah. How much snow did you guys get, by the way? Piles?
we don't have a lot, just a couple inches. But ours, what we have is we get that sleet and that freezing rain,
Ah,
and that started this morning. And so and it's never going to get above freezing until Friday. So we got 3 more days of never above freezing. So those roads here, I mean, it's just you're done.
jeez.
I'll drive in snow, no problem. I'll drive whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is where you run into your problems. So
100%.
I computer work is fine for me to do here. UPS, nobody's picking up. I mean, everybody closed down here. No, and so it's like, cool. I'll work from home, and I'll drink some of my
Yeah, I was gonna say you
rum
got.
that you didn't get.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got a new bottle
Since
there,
I
and
still
I'm.
have some left over, I think, you know what? Why don't I drink some of that and rub it in a little bit
Yeah,
more?
a little bit more, huh? Thanks, appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Hmm.
Jesus, but yeah, I lost my bottle, but I got a new one though, which is good. And this one here, I got it's from Trinidad, which is nice, Angostura white oak, but and which is necessary because we got a ton of snow here. But we got
Mm.
5 feet or something. It literally just
Oh,
snowed and didn't stop for 3 days.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was insane. It's so much that the city they issued a warning and they said there's no parking on the streets right now. They said you have to move your vehicle. The
Mm.
tow trucks have been instructed that they do not have to be careful of vehicles that are parked on the street. And that may seem like, oh yeah, who's going to do that? There was one year by our old place, there was a
Mhm.
guy, he parked a little Mini Cooper on the street, and it was one of those snowstorm things with the warning. We saw his car 2 days later and it was mangled. It was just totaled. And to make matters worse, after it got all smashed up, they left a ticket on his dash. It's like, oh, brutal. But it's like, guys, they
Mm.
told you, because they got a job to do. They got to keep the streets safe, the city moving, all that stuff. Now, mind you, if I was driving the plow, I'm not going to just like smash up someone's car. However, could have been an accident. But yeah, we got a pile of snow. But what we did do though is we worked with some snow removal guys, and we also have a couple plows ourselves through another company. And what we did is we went and cleared out some people's driveways, and then we left them a little "You're welcome" from Auto World on their door, and just little advertising. It's one of those things that people talk about. They're like, "Man, you're not going to believe it. There's a shop down the road, and they came and they just cleaned my driveway." It's all the little things, because we
Did
were
you
already
do those for customers, like people that you knew, or just random people?
randoms. And
Mm.
but what we did was strategic in a way. So you don't do five on the same street. You do two, one at one end, one at the other end of the street. They're going to talk, tell neighbors, whatever, socialize, and then you go to another street. You do another two there, and then you go another street, do another two there. So it's just kind of a way to spread things out. But we often do reach out to our existing customers, but a lot of them, they're all like, we just offer, hey, if you want, we're going to be in your neighborhood. We can plow out your driveway. A lot of them know they already tell us they're like, it's already taken care of. So we just move on. But just the thought counts a lot. And the cool thing is we do this automatically through OrbisX, which is pretty cool. We just shoot all our customers a message and say, hey, gonna be in your area, click here. Let us know if you'd like us to pass by. It goes to a little form. If they fill it out, we pass by. If they don't, they still saw, hey man, Auto World's doing a good deed for the community. So it's all those little things that help. But
Really?
yeah, community. Exactly. You got to take advantage. It's like when it rains, it pours. When it snows, money flows. I don't know. Just trying to make it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. Because you got to make
So
the best of a bad situation.
what flows in your rum? Just rum?
Usually just rum. However, it depends. Brown rum, just rum. If I'm drinking white rum, then I add Coca-Cola to it. Yeah, but
Mm.
I usually get these ones, the zero sugar, because there's already so much sugar in the rum that that's what gives you the like, what do you call it? The next day, the hangover. The next day.
Hmm.
So what about
You
you?
got to
What?
try coconut water.
Ooh,
You got to try it. Got to try it.
okay. mix them
Great
with.
with whiskey and great with rum too.
Oh shit.
Just mix it right in.
You know
Mm.
what? I am gonna try that. You know, I'm actually more curious to try it with whiskey because I've had coconut rum before, but I've never had whiskey and coconut before. That's interesting. What made you stumble upon that? Just experimenting?
No, that's a Brazilian thing.
Oh shit. Okay. Damn.
Yeah,
I would have
no,
thought you guys were
yeah.
all about like the caipirinhas and stuff. I'm sure you guys
Well,
do.
yeah, that
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that definitely. But
yeah,
then
yeah.
we keep cooking like, hmm
Yeah,
definitely
like
a Brazilian thing.
we keep
Yeah.
coconut water on demand.
hmm
It's
hmm
like on tap. That's amazing, man. You guys going down there at all? I know you usually go early.
Oh yeah, we were looking, but we didn't. That's where we flew her daughter in,
Okay, yeah.
so she could come in for her son's birthday,
Oh, nice,
and then
nice, nice.
stayed here. So yeah,
Yeah.
we want to sometime for the year, but we're just not sure when.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, yeah. Me,
Yeah.
I got back from my trip to Jamaica. It was horrible though at the resort. To be honest, 5 star. It was just. Don't get me wrong. The grounds were nice, all that stuff, but it didn't feel like a vacation. It was a million rules because it was one of those 5 star hoity-toity, like, oh, So I realized the sweet spot is like
Damn rules.
3.5, 4 star, or basically any Spanish speaking country. When it's just more relaxed, you have more fun. So anyway, it was way too uptight. So we booked again. We're going in March, but this time we're going to Mexico, take a load off, have a real vacation, which will be nice. And then, yeah, so I'm excited for that. Especially once I saw the 5 feet of snow hit, that's when my wife started getting on me. She's like, "Yo, we gotta call the travel agent. Gotta call travel." I was like, "Relax, there's time, there's time." It snowed again the next day, and I was like, maybe she's right. The third day where it wouldn't stop snowing, I was like, "Hey, what's Sharon's number again?" It's like, let's go. So then that's it. That's how it always happens, But yeah, so I'm excited to go. We're gonna take the kids this time, so that'll be nice. And then yeah,
Where in Mexico?
we're going to Riviera Maya, Bahia Principe. That's where we're going, and so on the Gulf side. But yeah, we've gone there before. We went without the kids. We went last February for my wife's birthday. Beautiful, beautiful grounds, big resort, friendly. People are great, but it's also kid friendly. That time we went, it was just adults that went, but they had like this huge water park for kids. So I was like, hey man, if we're gonna book again, we might as well go there and bring the kids, and you know, yeah. And it's simple. It's Mexico. It's a lot more relaxed. You want to play music by the pool. You want to do this, that, whatever you can. And but the only rules they have there really are like basic ones you'd find anywhere, like don't pee in the pool. That's
So, John, people might hear, your vacation, you just went off some vacation, like, I hear that. And then they might see posts inside of groups
Hmm.
where people are struggling and having hard times and people complaining, whether that's what we talked about last time, Google, or, this time we got some other stuff where people are complaining. Like,
Yeah,
you ever think that doesn't, like, people think about, well, why is Sean on vacation?
doesn't sit well.
Shouldn't I get a vacation?
Yeah,
Right. And you think that's a trap? Do you think there's a trap people get into? Like,
I think so. Yeah, I think a lot of people get stuck in that trap where it's like looking over your neighbor's fence, and focusing too much on that instead of focusing on your own stuff. Like a guy told me once, because I kept telling him he was at the time living in the Caribbean, and at the time that was my dream, that was my goal. And I remember talking to him, and he was trying to get out of the Caribbean, and he was trying to go to the United Kingdom. And I was telling him, I was like, man, you're crazy. You're already living the dream, And I remember being envious of his life at the time, being like, oh, he's living in, exactly where I want to be living, kind of thing. And I remember talking to him about it, and he said, listen, he says, don't base your dreams off of what you think I have or don't have or the life I'm living and stuff. And to me, it seemed crazy because I was like, man, you're living exactly that. And I went down and I lived basically like his kind of life, same island, same beaches, same this, same that. And I wasn't even enjoying it myself. And I realized I was like, geez, was I chasing this just because I saw someone else had it and I was like, oh, it looks fun because I was seeing the highlight reel? Or was it something I actually wanted? And the biggest thing that stuck out for me was by the time I got there, the pace of life was so slow. I swear to God,
yeah,
I was pulling
mhm.
my hair out. And I was like, you know what?
Like,
A great place to
yeah.
visit, not a great place for an entrepreneur, serial
Mhm.
entrepreneur that's always got ideas and stuff. It's just not the place for that. And so it was like
Like
taking,
Brazil. That's
Yeah,
what people said about it. And I go, and even people there, they said, what do you think about it? And I said, I could see this be a great place to retire. I
yeah,
said, it's so slow. And they
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
looked at me and I'm like, yeah, it's just so slow. Like,
It's
there's no
painfully
way
slow.
I could live here. Like, no way. Retire? Yeah,
Yeah,
I could
absolutely.
retire you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, be
Because
old man,
retire is
nothing to
very
do.
different. Yeah, retire is different.
Hmm.
But when you're in your prime, when you're in your peak, when you still have things to produce and do, it's a very different vibe. And so for me, I got caught in that trap in that sense, but I've never really been caught in that trap with business type things because my goals and my objectives were always different. Like I knew the money would always come. I wasn't so focused on the money. I wanted to build companies that mattered and mattered to me in different ways. Like the biggest thing for me, I'm so happy when I know that, for example, we go through a pandemic and I know that I didn't have to lay off a single staff member. They got to feed their families. They enjoy the work that they do. They enjoy working for a company like us, working with a boss like me. They enjoy that and they're supporting their family. That to me was my ultimate objective with it. Hey, if I can make a ton of money in the process, great. That wasn't my main focus. But there's other shops that have opened up and they've, reached out and like, hey, maybe we could partner up, we could make a ton of money together and this and that. And they're so focused on the money side because they see, oh, Auto World's busy, Auto World's making money. They're so focused on that, but their company culture is nothing like what we would want to partner with. It's just going to be introducing a cancer or a toxin into our environment. They don't get it. And so when we decline and we say, no, listen, it's not a good fit for us, they're almost like, don't you understand how much money you're passing up? And it's like, it doesn't matter. So there's a lot of schools of thought there. And I think that when you focus too much on the wrong thing or you focus so much on someone else's thing, even if you just focus on something in business like, oh, the economy's bad. If that becomes your focus, it becomes your reality. Even if the economy improves, you still limit yourself by having those thoughts, those beliefs, and so on and so forth. Because during bad economies, there's people that are still raking in money.
Always.
There's always,
Hmm.
in fact, there's some people that get their start during a recession,
Yep.
and that's where they
Yep.
start to crush it. Like, look, pandemic happened. A lot of detailers popped up. It was a gold mine for them, right? Everyone's focused on cleaning. Everyone's, spending more time in their car because they're, driving back and forth to pick up the kids and do this and that and all kind of stuff. Buses are shut down. Like, who knows? It was a gold mine. And then when that goes away, boom, people are now struggling. And I agree. I see it. I see a lot of posts in group. People are going through some hardships. What I do see though is a lot of people pointing fingers and putting blame in other places, almost as if it's a way to justify the lack of effort that they put in. And they look at this.
You mentioned that. Let's look at one of these. This is the one you sent me. Right.
Mhm.
We can't put it up on the screen for those of you. I will listen to other episodes, and I'll listen to them and I'll watch them on Spotify
Yeah, yeah,
because it puts up the video. So if people are watching, they look at the video. We're actually going to have some more, video interaction. So you will want to go watch the videos now
yeah,
because you're going to see some stuff on the screen. We don't have this one on the screen, so I'll just say it.
yeah.
But Sean, this is one you sent me, and this was the post, and it says, in the last 2 to 3 years, I've lost roughly 70 monthly maintenance accounts for roughly 120 cars. Right, so that's 70 accounts, 120 cars. Okay,
Mhm.
uh, for everybody doing math, that's just a little under 2 cars per account, right?
Yeah.
The fastest fall off rate I've seen in 13 to 16 years. Typically, we replenish what we lose, but people simply are not subscribing at the rate they used to. I believe we hit a new benchmark low with roughly 90 accounts for roughly 135 cars. I see many factors contributing to this, and we'll get into those factors here in a minute. Let's start, though. Let's
Mhm.
start with what he says. In the last 2 to 3 years, I've lost roughly we on our podcast, Pines and Polishing, my partner Nick, he talks heavily about not trusting people on social media.
Mhm.
Right? Like it's extremely difficult to trust people.
Yeah.
It's difficult to trust what they're saying. You've seen one guy that's in this group that, years ago, and he's from this group that you sent it for me. Years ago, people didn't realize he was getting paid,
Mm.
right? Until he then officially got a job by another company that competes against the company he used to
He
be
used to
pro
get paid
for,
for
right? Like,
it. Yeah.
and you just go, okay, that's just one example. One example. The other examples that are really interesting right now that we're going to talk about more publicly is the YouTube phenomenon of people who used to just only talk about other people's chemicals. Now suddenly they have their own brand, and this phenomenon that's going on about, will people buy from them? Will they not?
Yeah.
Who do you go on YouTube to watch, to learn from, to listen to? What should you actually intake? What should you ingest? Like, all these things seem stupid to question, seem overly analytical
Yeah.
until you see this,
Hmm.
until you see a post like this,
Yeah.
where he says, I've lost roughly. Now, that's an interesting word, roughly.
Yeah.
Sean,
Yep.
you're somebody who does a lot of cars a month.
Yep.
You you know your number.
Oh, 1000%.
You don't know a rough
Roughly.
number.
Yeah.
So, first warning flag that somebody's lying is they don't know their numbers.
Yeah.
They're roughly going to talk about it,
Yeah.
right? That's a first warning sign that this person really is lying. The whole post is a lie. Everything about it's a lie, except the fact that he's in a social media group trying to be a peacock
Hmm.
when he has nothing. It's all feathers. He's nothing. But
Yeah.
here he is, roughly 70, lost 70. Okay, so he says he's at a low of 90. He's roughly, that's 90 plus 70. Sean, help me with the math. 160
Yeah.
in a month?
Yeah.
This guy?
That's crazy. And
160 accounts?
yeah, that's a lot. And when you think about it, it's not like these are leads that
Accounts.
came in that they were thinking of buying, maybe not buying. These are someone you had a transactional relationship with. So those numbers
And
mean a
monthly,
lot
he's
more
saying
than
monthly, like regular every month. You know how many? So, right, second warning flag. Do those numbers and just go, well, there's no way. Like, and then there's some people that go, wait, hold on. It could, gotcha. There
Mm,
are some that could. You're
yeah.
right. Are those people on social media in a Facebook group bitching?
Nope. They're out there doing. They're out there fixing their situation, doing some marketing, strategic. That's where you call an emergency meeting. Team gets together. We're not on Facebook. In fact, it's phones in a box time. You don't deserve Facebook time. It's phones in a box. We're having an emergency meeting. What are we gonna do to fix this problem and turn this shit around? That's that blows my mind. That was the first thing I
Right?
saw. That's why I sent it to you. I was like, we got to talk about this because that's what's out there. And there's
So,
go ahead, go aid. Sorry.
no, all good. So we're going to go with there that this is all kind of fudged, all right?
Yeah, yeah,
That we understand that somebody out there that's been doing these type of numbers isn't now just, the sky's not falling like this, right?
mm,
Like, I think we need to have some, for those of us that have got, I mean, because this has been a tough January to February. Like, there's no doubt there's been some tough times for people. Let's be, I get it, but the sky's not falling like this.
yeah.
Like,
Not like that.
those numbers are fudged. That's a
Yeah,
fudge number, right? So we'll
yeah.
just start there. It's a fudge number, okay? But let's think about this. Typically, we replenish what we lose, but but and let's see where we start, right? You
Yeah,
wanted to talk about excuses. Excuses are the best part.
yeah. It's
They're in a sense the next warning flag. The next sign is there's an excuse.
yeah,
There's all these numbers that are fudged. And, typically people just replenish. Well, okay, let's let's take a moment to have a lesson then,
Mhm.
right? Like, let's have a lesson in something you and I have said, something we've talked about for years. You always have to analyze what's going on in the market. I mean,
100%.
fucking Field of Dreams is a great movie. Everybody should go back and watch. Kevin Costner, great thing.
Yeah.
All's wonderful. The greatest lesson and why I will always remember that movie is he had a massive flaw, the same flaw that we have. So many of us have. If you build it, they will come.
Mhm.
Well, now in the movie, it worked. Ain't true in real life. It
In
ain't
the movie,
true.
all kinds of shit works. Yeah, it's true.
People don't just replenish, right?
Yeah.
Guaranteed, if you looked up this guy's name, he's not in your accounts,
Mm. Yeah, you're
right?
absolutely right. Absolutely.
Right? Because what would somebody in your accounts that have this many people, this many cars, they would be using uh Luna
Yeah, or
to
AI, absolutely.
market, to go
Yep,
into emails, to go and it would already notified him that he's starting to fall down. So it would have taken care of it already. And he wouldn't have even had a chance,
it's true.
would have started hitting already, wouldn't
Yep.
have gotten this far.
100%, 100%. And that's where it really shows the difference between those that take action and execute things continuously for their marketing efforts, their growth strategies, whatever they happen to be, versus those that are like, oh well, for the last 20 years I've been getting a lot of referrals, so that's how I build my
People just
business.
replenish themselves.
Yeah.
What? What?
Sounds like our prime minister, where he says, "Oh, the budget will balance itself." When he was asked where $7 billion went missing, yeah, and he's like, "The budget will balance itself." It's that kind of fuzzy thinking that customers don't just replenish themselves. You got to be doing something to attract new leads, close new deals, whilst at the same time working on retention as well. If you're having that many people leave, I would literally be having a phone call with each and every one of them, being like, what happened? What's going on? Where did we go wrong? Because you obviously went wrong in several places. Where you went wrong will differ from customer to customer, but you have to tackle that problem before you pump a bunch more people into your funnel, because your funnel's broken. Whatever you're doing isn't maintaining long term relationships with clients. However, according to the rest of their posts, it's because of a bunch of other reasons that are beyond their control, right? And that's the part that I take issue with, because I look at my shop and my business partner just got back from Lebanon. My other business partner, he's taking off on a trip as well, and he's just about to close on a $2 million house. And I'm taking off to Mexico and I'm just closing on a rental property. We're doing great. And we just got 5 feet of snow for 3 days. Okay. And our economy, we've been, obviously hit with a lot of stuff, as you've seen in the news, I'm sure. The Canadian economy may not be as strong as it once was. However, there's still people with money. And in particular, there's still people to spend on certain things. Are people buying $4,000 coatings? No. But are we going to get them for a $200 detail? Absolutely. Are we going to upsell them a $299 tint? Absolutely. Are we going to upsell them a 1 year coating? Absolutely. There's ways that your business can still grow by nurturing those relationships. But clearly, in this case, we'll get to the list of excuses, but clearly, this individual's just let the business kind of run itself instead of grabbing the bull by
Yeah.
the horns. And when you let it just drive itself, these are the results you get. And then you start desperately grasping at straws, looking for excuses of why this is happening to you, instead of taking that hard look in the mirror and saying, shit, we fucked up. We failed our customers somewhere along the lines. And they're just giving us bullshit excuses like, oh, yeah, well, you got to read the list, because some of them were crazy. It's like they're like downsizing their cars and shit.
I
Stop.
will read the list, but this is something that I do believe in. We've talked about that going back to film room after the game.
Yeah. Taking a look at how you
If you didn't progress past middle school sports, if you didn't get to varsity, if you didn't play collegiate, you don't understand going to film room.
played.
You don't understand analyzing your mistakes.
Yeah.
You don't understand how hilarious it is to hear people get chewed out for the things that they did wrong, and
Yeah.
even you too. I mean, to to have yourself get and your mistakes get put out into film where everybody's laughing at you.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody can take that,
It's true. It's not for the weak at heart.
but
That's for sure.
what it does is it develops in you. Okay, I don't want to get laughed at. If I don't have coach mad at me, and then ultimately as a team, we all believe that, then we would win, right?
Mhm.
We wouldn't make the mistakes. We wouldn't do the things. So if you can't ever go back and look at your mistakes and analyze that you did something wrong, I feel for you.
Yeah.
I do because I don't have that weakness in me. I it got yelled out of me by my high school coaches.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's gonna get drilled. And unfortunately, in college, I didn't play enough to get yelled at. I
No,
wasn't good enough, but I sure loved laughing with everybody else when they would yell at the players. And some great lines that coaches would give you, but it ultimately was just to make you better,
Mhm.
right? I mean, and we'll go in and analyze some stuff here, and I think it will be a fun little segment that we start to do. Hey, I want people to understand that you have to do it yourself too.
Mhm.
If you don't ever go look under
100%.
your own hood and analyze your own stuff, then you'll be a guy like this who roughly knows his numbers,
Yeah, yeah.
who 15 years later is now questioning all these problems. What? How are
Yeah.
you 15 years in and now questioning? That makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
It-
That's the part that
Here's some
kills
of the
me 'cause
stuff, right?
yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
No, no,
Well,
no. The
I was
part that
gonna say
kills
the
you.
part that kills me is that, like, in your first year of business, second year of business, you're in like a learning, growth phase kind of thing. It's like when you start Google ads, at first you're paying the most and you're not really getting good results in a way because the Google AI is learning about your business and the clicks and the customer interactions and so on and so forth. And your business is the same thing where you start it, you're going to fumble a lot more. But after 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 15 years, that should be fully dialed in to the point that you could sell it as a turnkey business. Someone with no or little experience could walk into and run it tomorrow. Not, oh my God, we're losing 70 cars a month, recurring customers. That's crazy. And after 15 years, don't give me this bullshit about, oh, the market this, the market that, they just replenish themselves. No, 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 no. Something is critically wrong and you're going to end up closing your doors unless you take massive action. And that's where,
Then that, well, so yeah, I mean, if you're at this point, you'll have to take massive action. I think a big lesson, which probably a lot of people that are listening, I would imagine, aren't 15 years in, right? They're a
yeah,
couple years in,
yeah,
right? So your big lesson is that you're gonna sow what you reap. You're gonna reap what you sow. You're gonna all that stuff's gonna come to like
it's
it,
true.
the tail of the tape always plays out. So if
Yeah.
you don't ever go back and look at your tape, it's just
It's going to
it's gonna
happen
come out
regardless.
eventually.
Yeah, it's going to
Like
happen.
there's a guy that I'm seeing here locally. I mean, I could send you the photo. Well, I will. He was going to this show uh, where he was going to show one of his cars,
Okay.
and behind the scenes, we know that he spent a ton. And when I mean a ton, the word on the street from he's a detailer, so his suppliers, not me. I just talk to suppliers because I still like to stay in touch with people here that run around. I used to compete against. He's
Yeah.
put over $100,000 into that car.
God. Oh my God.
A detailer,
It's
and you go,
crazy.
"That's awesome, right?" We would celebrate that a detailer could invest that kind of money. So you go look at his shop, and man, it's correction and coding. He's that guy. Correction, coding. And they did a ton over the last years. A ton. You start looking under the hood a little bit more. Well, it's his brothers that work for him. So He probably finagled some of that. They probably don't have actual pay stubs,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%.
right?
You start
You
to peel
know,
back the
he
layers of that
probably
onion.
he probably hasn't done everything. So that's why he's now at this car show saying, "Hey, if you're going to be here, there's some bad weather. Let us take care of your car for you."
Mm.
While we all know that he's there actually with a car that he's trying to sell now for 40,000, and he has 100 in it.
Oof, oof. Gee.
Also, the worst part of it, the worst part, somebody comments in the section, "Hey, you missed a spot." Now we always think that's funny, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like this big behind the tire.
Oh
And they
man.
actually zoom in because he thinks he's joking. So the next comment is zooming in.
Oh
And
man.
you just go, man, how far did this guy get? And he
Jeez.
never started the basics of learning just how to clean the car.
Yeah. That's crazy.
All this, right?
Yeah.
Everything he did. And he never even learned to clean the car properly.
That's craziness. Jesus. And he would have been better off if he just learned to clean it properly, kept a small shop, did his thing, and just pumped out cars. That's in my opinion. I think, man, that's
Well,
madness.
what's sustainable?
Jesus.
To have this big giant shop that you actually are not running it efficiently because you're not paying people properly. You've got your
Yeah.
brothers in it. I bet you all the stuff's not properly insured. I bet you don't have all the things in a business that is generating that type of money
Yeah.
should be doing. And so the tail of the tape is always going to happen, where then it
Yeah.
shows you don't do your work right. It shows everything happening, and you will eventually go out of business like this guy,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
That's
you
true.
eventually will fail. And
Yeah.
here's what I want to say. Like, if we see more of this, as sad as it is, Sean, this
Mm.
is something you and I have talked about so many times that it is the way. It is part of the purge. The
Yeah.
purge has to happen.
It's
It's
true.
a great movie, but it's also part of the cycle. It's part of which we remember that great episode where we talked about the animals will be on one side and they got to go all
Yeah.
the way over here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of the journey,
It
right?
is. Yeah.
And then inside of that journey, you have to have obstacles. And if people have done that journey enough, they know where to watch out for things.
Yeah. Those are the ones that last.
Hey, don't go in that river. There's an
There's
alligator, right?
alligator.
Like,
Exactly. It's true though, and the purge is necessary. You're absolutely right, and that's where business isn't cut out for everybody. And I think that the more you focus on the right things, and you focus on setting up systems, and you focus on creating an actual business, and not just creating a job, that's where things tend to work out more often, anyway, probability wise, in the
or
long run for
lifestyle or an
businesses.
image, right?
Yeah,
That's how we got into this, right? So many people on
yeah.
social media, we have thought that they were one way,
Hmm.
right? We thought they were doing great. We thought, but when we look at it, it's all fudged. Like we
Yeah,
look at this guy's numbers, right? We look at
yeah,
this guy's, it's all fraud.
yeah. It's true.
It's all fraud.
100%.
It doesn't matter about his excuses. Excuses are there's so many divorces. There's wives going back to work, customers downsizing their car count, degrading their brands, right? They're moving. And then he says, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, working with the 1% is not a buffer to success. Bitch, come on. The 1% aren't going, like, they're not doing that. Come
Yeah,
on. Come
absolutely.
on, my guy.
It's
Come
crazy.
on. Be true with yourself. How about that? Maybe
100%.
there's your lesson in business that if you can't go to the tail of the tape and really judge yourself, be truthful. So if you're not working with the 1%, my guy,
100%. Because
come on.
anyone that says that, you know, is truthful in any way, shape, or form, the lie is right there in front of you. Listen, one of his excuses, the wives are going back to work, but then he mentions working with the 1%. Okay? Listen, my wife retired at 33, and I can tell you right now, until my grandkids are dead, my wife will never be going back to work unless she chooses to work because she wants to do something like a hobby. But she has no need to go back to work. There's no way, no matter what economy happens or anything like that, because the 1% aren't setting themselves up in a way that their lifestyle is that fragile, that this little downturn is nothing. Like, you remember 2008? That was a lot worse than what people are going through right now. You know what I mean? For a lot of people, including the 1%. But even then, the 1% usually found opportunities in down economies. That's what happens, because when you've got money to move around and play around and do things, like right now, we're going through a worse economy than we were 5 years ago in Canada, for example. And I'm picking up rental properties because I'm taking advantage of the fact that, there's some discount prices, we'll say. Okay. But I'm not in a position where, like, my wife's going back to work. But let's take all that off the table for a second and just think about it. Someone going back to work, how are they getting to work? Most likely they're driving themselves. What the fuck does that have to do with their car? Exactly. Like, if anything, she's spending more time in her car. So maybe your approach to how you're marketing to that housewife needs to change. Maybe you need to be a little more aggressive with how you market to heading back to work, spending more time on your daily commute, da 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 da. There's ways that you can see the opportunity in that. So if I was this guy, I would take that list of excuses I made and I would spend time on each one, focusing on how I would now market to that person. Aside from the person that's moving out of town, like, if you're moving somewhere, you're moving somewhere. There's nothing you can do about that. I will agree in most cases. However, all the other list, the whole rest of the bullet points, I don't see anything but opportunity there. That's the difference, I think, is that one person will look at something, they'll be envious of what others have. They'll look at the world and say, why is life being so unfair to me? Why is this happening? Why? Instead of what. And so they always say you should start with why, but sometimes you got to start with what. And the what is, what can I do? What can I do to capitalize on this opportunity? What can I change? What can I tweak? And when I said earlier, massive changes needed, I should correct myself, because actually, I think all that's needed is a series of minor tweaks. Often the
Mhm.
smallest change can
Mhm.
actually change your entire
Mhm.
course. If you think about it, if I go for a 1 kilometer or 1 mile run, that's a lot of effort. That's a lot of work, right? And I end up at a destination. But maybe I'm running in the wrong direction. But if I do a little effort and I just pivot myself to the right, that's a little effort, and I take 10 steps instead, I might be in the right direction. So I'm actually further ahead with a minor change versus massive effort running in the opposite direction, right? So sometimes it's something minor. So right there, you already did half the work. You wrote the list of what you think is wrong. So look at that list and say, what can I change? What can I capitalize on? What can I do in my business to get that person? Take one demographic. Okay. The house moms, the housewives, they're going back to work. Okay. What can I do to capitalize on that? You know what I mean? I can't remember what else was on the list, but there was a bunch of other nonsense.
Well, let's go with there. And then let's move off past the excuses and let's get to the actual numbers.
Yeah.
But if you do have
It,
housewives going back to work,
yeah.
my favorite things was working housewives. Okay, great.
100%.
Go to their location, and
Yeah,
and hey, that clean car you used to get at your house, we can do it here at your work. And then
yeah,
what are the people going to do that? Oh, she's going to brag to everybody. Then those people are going to
absolutely.
want, right? There's
Oh, yeah,
always a way.
yep,
Always a way. There is. There is.
100%.
And you might find that way by doing this, right? By going into your OrbisX account and doing some digging, right?
You do
So
the deep
we
dive
have
through
an
it.
account up, Sean. You have done a great job of this is a real person's account.
Yep,
You've taken the name, the company name, you've taken the information out.
yep.
Hopefully it gets put back in. So if you're the no, I'm joking,
Yeah,
but
I will put it
you're
back
the
in, but
person that suddenly has a Orbis X off
off
the
the clock
clock demo
example.
as the name. Uh,
Absolutely. And here's the thing about this account as well, is that this was an account that's been bounced back and forth between OrbisX and a few other CRMs, because they started with us back in 2022. And then every step of the way, it was, oh, I want to tweak this or tweak that, tweak this, tweak that, because there was always something that needed to be changed in the CRM that would make their business better instead of them tweaking their business a bit and then utilizing a CRM, right? There's a difference there is that sometimes people, they think, oh, the reason I'm not busy enough is because, oh, the software I'm using or the live chat agent or maybe my SEO guy sucks. It's always somebody instead of them looking at the after game reel, right? And so this individual, this business, I guess to say, they bounced between OrbisX, then they went to another CRM, then they came back and they said, oh, that CRM wasn't working, it wasn't, a good fit, it wasn't helping me get leads, this, that. Then they were with us for a bit. Then they went to another CRM. They kind of bounced all over. And so I figured it was a great account to go through to show what they were lacking and what they weren't doing and why that was impacting their business. Because it's a crucial thing, right? Software can do a lot of things. ChatGPT can do a lot of things. But without the right questions to an AI, without the right setup in a CRM, you're not going to experience the benefits in their maximum potential. And there's ways that even just using things like the statistics and so on and so forth, it can have a massive impact on your business. So I figured it would be a good idea to just take a deep dive in. So to start with, this account, this was a solopreneur, so someone working by themselves. They didn't have staff or team members, right? So that's something to factor in when looking at things in this account. In my opinion, that's an even more crucial factor for setting up your OrbisX account to its full potential because you don't have staff. Like myself, if let's say the internet went out for a few days, but we still had access to a phone, well, I have staff that can still call customers. I have staff that can still go knock on doors if we need to, or do whatever we need to do. But if you're working by yourself, you can only be one place one time. You can only take one phone call at a time. You can only send so many messages in a day. So this is where you really need to utilize technology to its fullest, in my opinion. And so I went through their account, and there were a few things that stood out to me. There's one thing that I won't necessarily be able to pull up because I don't want to pull up any of their customer info. But what I do want to mention, because it was something that caught my eye, just we'll kind of work from this top down. So communication with customers, because that's something non-software related, even though you can use the software to communicate. So I did print it out. I'll post it in the group after because I don't think you'll be able to really read it, but I'll read it for you. So it's communication back and forth with the customer, and the customer asks, so mind you, take a look at the numbers on the screen. You'll see we got $6,000 for the month of Feb, and then we got 4,900, so just shy of 5,000 for the month of January, right? So with those numbers in mind, one could argue that there's definitely some more money that they're leaving on the table, I would say. And there's definitely some days here you can see that are just fully empty, nothing going on with them. They've even put X's on them. They blocked those days. If we go to February, like there's just empty days on the calendar. There's days with not super, a lot of appointments. Their business hours are Monday to Friday, and like Thursday and Friday they have blocked off. Tuesday, Wednesday they have blocked off. There's a bunch of days they have blocked off, right? So a lot of money being left on the table, but let's say on the days that they are working. So the question was, is the trunk included in my detail? And the response back was, hey, to answer your question, yes, the trunk is included if it's clear of all of your personal belongings. Thank you. And the customer did write back and they said, I'll make sure to clear it out. Thanks. Now, I checked that customer's profile just to see what happened, and they ended up canceling their appointment. Now, I don't know the reason why they canceled it, but one
I
can
do.
only, you do? All right. Hit me with it. I have.
There's two letters that canceled that appointment.
Mm,
The letter I and the letter F. Combined are if.
mm,
I'm only going to do something if
yeah,
you do something.
yeah,
Wait, you're a service-based business.
yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you a quick question here, because I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. But so your wife, she purchased that cleaning company and she's been running that. When they show up to a customer's house, do they only clean the bathroom if it's clear of their personal belongings? It's a question, a lot of
No,
detail.
and that is funny. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I get pictures of
yeah,
the way that the houses are left, the way the
absolutely.
bathrooms are left.
Mhm.
I think there's a fun one recently. There was a lady that went out of town, and she said, "Hey, if your girls want to take the food because we're going to be gone for a while, like I'll leave it out for you. You know, they can take."
Yeah, yeah.
It was all spoiled shit that she didn't want to throw away.
Oh man, if
How
you want to have it,
how
it's
how
yours.
much of a slap in the face is that? Like,
Jesus,
here's
yeah.
some spoiled bananas. Here, why don't you take them?
Mhm. Oh
Mm.
man, see, if someone did that to a detailer, that detailer would be posting that night in one of those groups we've talked about
Oh
saying,
gosh, yeah.
I no
Hmm.
longer do interiors. I only do coatings.
You, you just got to realize. I mean, that's why I always say service, and people don't like to serve other people. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
fun. Don't
yeah.
get me wrong. It's not like it's highlight of my life to say I served other people.
Serve other people, yeah.
But
But
fuck, if somebody needs a car cleaned and
fucking
that's my job,
clean the fucking
then
car.
I'm gonna serve their needs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so in response to that, because at Auto World, we tell people it's best if you have personal belongings that you want to make sure, aren't, damaged or lost by mistake or something, just for your own safety, it's best to move those. However, we always follow up with we've never had a theft, we've never had a loss, we've never had this and that, but just keep that in mind. But if you bring us the trunk full, no problem. We'll carefully package things up, put them to the side, clean the trunk, and then when we're done, we'll put them back. Simple, right? We flip it to
So it's
more
all in the wording,
a hundred
right?
percent.
And it's all in how you professionally speak to somebody.
Yes, exactly. It's the same thing where that if statement, you're absolutely right. Where it's like, if I'll do this, if you do that. It's like, Jesus, man, like I thought I was bringing you my car. So it's more like, yeah, yes, we do. If the trunk is clean, Jesus, like so if the trunk is clean, it's like, yes, we will clean it. And should there be stuff in your vehicle in the trunk, we can either clean around that or we can remove it and put it back, whichever you would prefer.
So if there's stuff there,
Totally
right,
normal.
and you didn't want to go through, right, you could go into
Yeah.
that, or you could just ask the question. Hey, is there a bunch of stuff in the trunk?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. It's a bunch of
Great
stuff. Yeah,
question.
just
Do you
ask.
clean the trunk? Well, hey, is there a bunch of stuff in the trunk?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, actually, yeah, there is a lot of stuff in the trunk. It's going to be hard to clean the trunk if there's a lot of stuff in
yeah. There you go. You've now opened up that conversation, and
it.
it could be
Do
like,
you want
boom.
to pay us to remove it? Do you want to remove it yourself? Right? Like,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
much better way than saying,
Now you're
well,
throwing it back
if
on
you blah,
them.
blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But it's a here's a quick little tip too. Is with the whole service based business thing. When people come into our shop, it's a good idea to say like, hey, how's it going or something. But a lot of people start with like, hey, what's new with you or what's going on with you or something. It's the whole like give and take mentality thing where when someone comes in, I just want to drop off my car. I want you to clean it. I don't want to really like chit chat too much. I got other shit to do, right? So the minute if you start taking from them, you're like, hey, tell me what's going on with your life recently, or tell me this, tell me that. It's like, holy shit, like now I got to start giving you things, right? Instead, if you're just like, hey, Marshall, great to see you again. What are we doing today? The same thing? Da 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 da. This that. It's a completely different frame of mind, and it's those kinds of subtle little sentences, subtle little phrases, subtle little communication skills that
Mhm.
a lot of detailers should spend some time on and practicing it out and see how things go. And you'll notice that, like in this case, if I've got well for the month of January, I think you had just under 5,000. Let me go back here. So yeah, just under 5,000 in the account on the books, and it was January when this message was sent. I've got less than 5,000 booked, and I've got some days that are completely empty. I don't give a shit what's in your trunk as long as it's not a dead body. You know what I mean? Just like show up.
So,
'Cause I'm gonna get the job done.
so what are these?
It's
7 hours means she's worked 7 hours that day for 600.
yeah,
Do we know
absolutely.
what the services are? Like,
Yeah, so some of these sometimes they call them different things. So
so
like
3 hours, 2 hours. So most of these are kind of more like full detail type, right?
yeah, absolutely. So I did go through it. Like I said, I don't want to pull these up because they have customer details on them, but
Hmm.
they do show, like for example, if I filter by services. So if I go auto detailing, for example, right? So this gives a much different perspective, right? So we've got $4,239 booked here, and we can see there's a lot of details here. We can see a lot of the ones where it's customer booked, and then we see other ones where he put them in himself. So you can see here like 2019 Subaru Legacy, customer booked, and then customer booked 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee. So the good news is they were using the booking form, and they were getting bookings, and they were all being taken care of for them. But then you come to things like this, and it just says detail and then back new. And I understand that, you're busy and you got stuff going on, but if you go back and you reference this later for the same customer and you click on their profile and then
Why
you
does it
see,
show $0?
oh, because they didn't put any pricing. So there's a lot going on wrong, in my opinion, with this account, that just little things, and it's laziness, in my opinion. So didn't put in pricing, so you're not able to keep track of what you actually charged for these jobs. It could also be that maybe they were doing cash jobs, they didn't want it recorded, who knows? But reality is, by
Oh,
not putting stuff in, your stats are going to be skewed. And then when you put something in like just detail, you don't put any other nothing. There's no notes. And when I clicked on a lot of these, like I said, there's customer details on them, so I don't want to actually like click to open them up. But um, the thing is,
so that's it. What you saw when I saw. Oh, what
yeah.
happened?
Oh, so
Go
I was
back.
going to show you.
Go
So
back.
I filtered
Oh,
through services. I'll go back, but so they offer these four services that they put in: auto detailing, detailing add-ons, window tinting, and ceramic coating.
click
And
on the ceramic coatings. That'd be interesting.
oh yeah, this is it's
Oof,
it's very interesting,
oof,
right? So
oof,
that alone, I know that alone, it's like, why is
oof,
it even on your menu? And then you go detailing add-ons, and we
oof,
got one. Yeah. So this one I
oof,
clicked it earlier was engine cleaning that they had. Oh no, sorry, that was headlight
oof.
restoration. Yeah. So we go into so here's the auto detailing. So clearly the majority of their business auto detailing, right? We can
Does it have his packages up there without saying like his name or anything?
here
Like,
no,
can you
but
when we see his?
absolutely. So here, let me go to that, and that way we can actually see packages. So insights and stats, and this is the part that just made me sad to my heart. So this only here's packages. So here's services booked. So this will show you like so we got detailing add-ons, auto detailing, window tinting. Clearly, auto detailing is the big one that he's got going on there. And then we have packages booked. So this is the part that I hated, in my opinion, just the way the packages were laid out. But that's just me. Um, like as a customer, it's just
I found his ultimate reason for why he's never gonna succeed.
all right. What's the ultimate reason?
Hasn't done a single ceramic coating, but he sells 9 year. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah,
Ding, 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 ding.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, coding
Fucking
level
idiot.
one, but it's a coding level one for 9 years. Yeah,
Fucking
absolutely.
idiot.
And
Hey, let's not sell any all month, but let's promote. We have 9 years.
yeah,
Fucking
exactly,
idiot.
right? And here's another part that here, let me take these ones off for a second, right? And this one took me out as well. So here we have two window tint. Okay. Now this, he sold two of them in 2 months. Okay. Two of them. But yet you saw that page that had all those detailing jobs, right? Now, when vehicles come from the factory, most jurisdictions, the back will be tinted, but the front is never tinted because in a lot of jurisdictions it's not legal to
What
have
about
certain.
that detailer add-on? Where was that?
So, absolutely. So that's where at our shop, two window tint, that's one of our biggest upsells. Cars come in, they've got the back
Yeah,
tinted, but not the front. Oh
detail
my
add-on.
God. It's a gold mine. This
So,
here too.
so where does that get put in OrbisX? Right? Does he
So
not have that as an add-on, or is
yeah,
that
so
something that is a button that he didn't click?
he's added that as one of his packages that customers could book, right? But he can also add that to an event. But it's even worse. His add-ons took me out. Here, I'll show you. Let's go into the marketing tab here. Upsells. Oh, I didn't want to show you the pricing yet. I was hoping to get your feedback on it, on what you think he was charging for the upsells. Because I think when people think upsells, they think it has to be heavily discounted. They think it has to be like in this case, 6 month ceramic coating spray, $20. As someone that produces ceramic coating, Marshall, what's your feedback here? What do you think?
So many detailers say they don't want to be the car wash guy, they don't want to be the dealership guy.
Yeah.
But then you know what dealerships do? They wash cars and then charge people for a warranty. You know
Yeah.
what car washes do? You can run through the car wash and get a ceramic coating spray on your car.
Yep.
It's just a slide up charge, $20, Sean.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I've even done it.
Why don't you
And I
use a
know it.
legitimate product?
Yeah.
Stop fucking bullshitting your customers.
Yeah.
Stop lying to people. Stop. Here's the thing that I think that you really, if you want to go the tail of the tape on this guy,
Mm,
tail of the tape on so many of us, we look in the mirror. We have a hard time offering a great value, a great service, everything great to a customer, having a great service upcharge because we don't believe in what we're doing. We don't
yeah.
believe in the product that we actually bought. We don't believe that it's going to do. We do not really believe
Yeah. It's
because we
true.
can't. We can't
Yeah.
believe in a 6 month spray that is only costing $20.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
how does that come? How does a spray, water-based spray, that you're going to spray a cup? And I guarantee you, absolutely guarantee you, he is also then going, okay, I want to make sure I just use a couple
Yeah.
sprays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I just want. I'm going to charge $20, but I only spent $12.99 on this 32-ounce bottle.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna make it last. Yeah,
Fucking idiot.
100%. And then look, you go down further too. Engine bay detailing, $20. That's
I'm okay with that.
crazy. Craziness. Like I wouldn't even waste my time lifting the
I think
hood.
that's a great one. Why do you not like it?
Oh, I don't like the price point on it. Yeah, yeah. Me personally,
Why?
I don't like the
I
price.
think that's a great price point.
Oh, no way. Oh, I like that we're differing on this. Okay. So me, the
Well,
reason,
agreed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The reason I don't like the price point is two reasons. One is that, and maybe this is because I also know a little bit about his other services because I went through the whole account. So he has a complete package, right? And his complete
Yeah, you're
package.
cheating.
Yeah, yeah. See, I knew some
Yeah.
other info. So
You just, yeah.
if you add up the sum of all his other services, when you do it, it ends up that, yeah. So
Okay. Okay. So take that out and you just go engine bay. This is an upgrade,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
I'm already
100%.
doing the detail.
Yeah. So
So
you're
I've
already
got my
there.
hose out. I got
Yeah,
everything. I'm already going to use my, for us, right? We love the same product. You
yeah,
can use the same product on the wheels. You can put it on your tires. You can put it on your lower rocker panels. You can put it on your fenders, and it does great. TRX is a great cleaner for engines.
yeah,
So all
absolutely.
in that same amount of time while I'm doing that, I just flip up the engine. I spray TRX. I close my bay. I go and I rinse things down. I come back and I rinse my engine. 20
Yeah,
bucks is great. I'm not
easy,
spending
Adam.
more than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Me personally,
I
I would
might
put it
have
at 45.
30 cents of
Yeah,
TRX cost and I make
yeah.
20 bucks. I think it's a great upgrade.
I do agree with you on that point. I personally would have put it at 45. That's just where I would have put it because at our shop, for example, we sell it as a standalone for 65. If you're doing just like if someone just books just for engine bay, sometimes we get car shows, different things. We do 65 or 100 if they want steam. That's just how we price it. But me, I mean, that's all subjective in a way, though, right? Either way, good use of putting in some upsells. The thing is, I don't think the upsells were really used
Oh,
very well. I know.
no. Love it. Love this. This is great. This is why we do this. I think this is the best part of it, right? So we can all
Yeah,
learn, right? Well, as you hear
100%.
us going back and hitting and giving out, like, learn from yours, right? On
Yeah,
upsell, if somebody is getting a detail,
yeah.
hold on,
Hmm.
hold on. I
Yeah.
thought I knew the reason why this guy was going out of business, but now I do.
That's the thing. There's like 12 reasons why. Yeah. Yeah.
So what was he
That's,
not doing? Was he just using a touchless wash the entire time?
yeah, yeah.
How does a regular detail not get a hand wash? I don't. No time required.
That part I
Engine bay,
don't
no
know.
time required.
Yeah, but then
Great.
iron decontamination wash, 45 minutes. Oh boy. Jeez.
$80
Yeah.
to decon
Yeah.
and a $20. So, huh. There's
Yeah.
a saying that I think people should like, and as you guys start going in and analyzing these packages or analyze what you do, you got to ask yourself, what's the easiest way somebody can do business with me?
Mm, yeah.
I mean, that's confusing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Oh,
I go click on stuff and I'm somebody that's trying to add on these packages and I'm using OrbisX because you sent me an email and I go, great, I need to get my shit cleaned. Wait,
and you're like,
you want me
wait,
to
I'm getting a detail, but I have
upgrade
to add a hand
to
wash?
what?
What's the
And
iron decon?
decon?
Like,
Like,
yeah, you know what would have made more sense in my opinion? And it would have equated to better sales. So this iron decon, they're charging 80. This 6 month ceramic spray bullshit, they're charging 20. Let's just say they're going to continue with that spray and that's what they want to do. Okay, fine. I don't like it, but fine. I would combine those two together and I would say $100. The decon is included with the 6 month ceramic. And to be honest, I would rather upgrade that to a 1 year and I would do Uno, something like that. And I would include the
get a
decon
stack.
and
It'd
then I
be
would
done
charge
in
for it
20
or stack.
minutes. Yeah.
True. Yeah, yeah, true. But like that's that's the upgrade I would be pushing, right? I wouldn't be pushing those separately, number one, because we understand that in the industry, the customer, like think about that post where the guy was saying the housewives are going back to work. So we've decided we're going to target these housewives and I'm going to hit them with an ad saying you can add iron decontamination wash for $80 to your minivan. And she's gonna look at that ad and be like, "Fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Right? Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense, you know?
So do you have his packages? These are the
Yeah, we
upgrades,
do.
right?
Yeah, yeah, we got his packages too. Let me.
And I'm saying he, it might be a she. I don't know.
That's true.
It's a
Yeah,
he.
it's a he. Yeah. Booking form settings. All right. So
Now
big
all the
red
female
flag.
listeners go, yeah, we're not the idiots like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So first red flag, for me, anyways, is because he has. uh, I'll get into it after, but I went through his stats, and for every 27 appointments, there were 10 cancellations. So do not ask for deposits is enabled for some reason. So that's a huge no-no in that scenario, in my opinion. But anyway, the other interesting thing was they had passing.
So let's hold on,
Yeah, yeah,
unpack that a little bit, right? Because you see this, and that's a great question. I get to
yeah.
ask you the question. I don't know the answer, right? This is beyond my years from when I
Right.
basically have quit being business of detailing. My one customer who gets his car cleaned every week, or whose wife had a stroke, but
Mhm.
still wants to pay us.
Jeez. All right.
Hasn't got his car cleaned in 3 weeks and goes, "Hey, I still need to get you guys paid. Make sure you got like your guys are taken care of." I'm gonna go,
Wow. All
"Huh?"
right. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna touch the money. Like the guys will take care of all of it. Like, yeah, hey guys, this is your money. Like he wants
Yeah,
you
yeah.
to have it. And go, yeah, those are the
Mhm.
guys you want. Those are the people you want.
Yeah,
So
100%.
I don't know this. I've never, that guy never missed. If he did, it was
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
reason. My people didn't miss. So
Mhm.
I never asked about it. I know my people didn't skip out on stuff. So I don't know this,
Yeah,
but there's a lot of weather right now, right? There's a lot of people canceling. So I would
yeah,
like to know your insight. What do people do, right? Like you should,
yeah,
and then at what percentage, right? What is that? If you got $100 detail, you got to ask for what percentage? Is that ultimately if it's a $500 detail? What? At what time do you begin to ask for a deposit?
and that's a good question. So for us, we usually do deposits if it's going to be self-booked, because our existing customers don't book themselves. They just don't. They're
Mm,
either on a
mm.
maintenance package already, and so we just schedule them in, and they're on a recurring appointment. That's how it works. Or we have a relationship with them. We're calling them. We're sending them a text or an email, or they're messaging us. It's a more intimate relationship at that point, and the self kiosk mode doesn't really work with those customers. Like we're dealing with people that are super busy, but they have the money to spend. They want to, and we're not talking millionaires. They're just people that they care about the cleanliness of their vehicle, the appearance of their vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
but they
Mm-hmm.
want to
Mm-hmm.
invest in the cleanliness of their vehicle, and to them that's important. But through that, they want that relationship. It's kind of like going to the dentist. Like, who's going to be in my mouth? You know, who's going to be in my car? Who's going to be this and that? They even often have their favorites out of the text, and they're like, "Oh, I want to know if so and so's not going to be working that day because I want him to do it. I'd rather bring my car the next day." They have their favorites. That's the relationship we have. But with the online self bookings, we usually do a deposit, and we keep our deposits small. The biggest thing is it's to get that commitment, that initial commitment from customers. So even if it's $10, $20, whatever it is, and you can call it what you want, a deposit, account setup fee, or whatever you want, but that is often helpful. We don't do deposits in the majority of scenarios at our shop, though. However, all of our advertising and the actual foundation for our business targets the right kind of customer for our shop. So if you're just out there doing whatever kind of ads on Facebook, attracting, and you're a come get it, whoever has a car, just come in those scenarios, I highly recommend deposits. If you start to have 10 cancellations for every 27 appointments, start taking deposits because that way at least you're not filling up your calendar with people that are just leaving, and that's my guess is what happened on those days where it shows no appointments is that he was working but wasn't able to fulfill any jobs because they canceled. So that's what my guess is there. But then that's where I would be overbooking or a bunch of stuff. I would definitely take it to the next level. Real quick on the upsell side as well, the biggest thing I noticed there too was no cross selling. Everything focused around his detailing side,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows in his stats. Where I showed you the report where it shows detailing was his biggest booked service and his tinting really
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. But if he has the skills to be tinting, like what are you going to do in the wintertime? You're probably going to do more
Mm-hmm.
tint jobs.
Cross sale.
No,
Yeah, great
exactly. So
idea.
use your upsells if they book. And with OrbisX, one cool thing, you can actually set it so that if someone books a detail, you can have it upsell them tinting. But if someone books a tinting, you can have it upsell them detailing. And then you can even say if they book both, don't upsell them anything or upsell them something else, a ceramic coating or something like that. But that's how flexible the system is, and it's designed that way on purpose so that the guy doesn't book a tinting and then you're trying to sell him tinting as well as an upsell. It's stupid. And so it's really smart. And it takes a couple minutes to set up, and then the AI does the rest for you. It'll reach out to your customer to upsell for you. So you don't, it's like a whole nother staff member. So going down through his thing here, a couple quick notes before we get to the packages. This one here, this one drives me nuts. It was added because people asked for it, some people, but out of thousands of members, we had maybe 30 or 40 that asked for this. So we added it in. Hide services until the contact details are entered. It used to be that they called them entry gates, where entry gates would work on forms. Give us your email and you'll get 10% off. Give us your email and you'll
Mm-hmm.
get this and that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That can work for impulse buys. Like if I see an ad online to
Mm-hmm.
buy a product, I click through to
Or
the
for a certain type of customer that you don't want.
yes, absolutely. But in this case, someone's trying to find out more about your business, about your packages and services,
You
and you're
want them to
trying
know.
to trap
Mm-hmm.
them by capturing their details. When the reality is, just leave it so they see your services and packages, but they also, the first thing they see is their contact details section. They will start entering that in because that's what we're trained to do as humans. We see step one, we start entering our info, and then OrbisX can save that info behind the scenes so it ends up in your lead section, and then it'll automatically follow up with them and so on and so forth, whilst they can still peruse your menu and see what you have to offer and make that decision, right? Let them sell themselves on what you've shown them with the information. So that to me, boom, that should be taken off. That's what I would do. And then you look here too, required contact fields, name, email, phone. But
It's a lot of info.
should you add blood type in there?
That's a fucking lot of info.
Wife's
I don't give
name?
that stuff out.
Yeah. You know what? I would leave it
I
as
don't give it to my
nothing.
doctor. We go to doctors' offices, and I don't. I ask them. I have to give you that. Like
Yep,
I don't want
exactly.
that. I don't
Take
want people
someone like
knowing my
yourself,
stuff.
Marshall, you've recently started using your email more, but before you weren't an email guy, right? So
Mm-mm.
you're like, fuck, I don't, you might not even know. You're like, fuck, what is my email? You know what I mean? You might not know.
No, I specifically don't give a no. I mean, my reason for not giving them everything's about privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a
100%.
lot of people that are, and it's, so if somebody wants my email now, they get a Gmail.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
fuck you.
yeah,
And all
yeah.
you're gonna do is send me shit.
Exactly.
So,
Shit, I didn't ask
so you
for it.
ain't
Shit,
getting
I
a
don't
real
know.
one.
Yeah,
And no way in hell I'm giving you my phone number.
yeah,
You know how many people I'm having to block now? We're all having to do that.
yeah. hundred
You know, you
percent.
got to block all the random text messages.
Yep,
So,
it's true, and that's where just leave it as is. They'll give you what they want to
mhm.
give you. The minute you make stuff required, it becomes a
The
problem.
better customer will want, right? So when
Yeah,
I'm ready, I want you to have my stuff. I want you to contact me.
100%. Because here's the thing, like, look, at our print shop, we don't have any of the fields required on our quote form, but people will put in the notes, they'll enter their email sometimes, but they put in the notes, please contact me by phone only. Or they'll say,
Bingo.
please only email me, or
Bingo.
something like that. Sometimes they don't put their phone number, and it's like, okay, so we just email them. They get back to us right away, and we place the order, so on and so forth. If we forced it, the book, or not book, sorry, the quote
The
request would
data's
go
not
down.
real, just like your Google reviews ain't real.
Yeah, exactly. But how dare Google take them away? And exactly, so true. But that's where things like that, and then you go further down, and you look at something like this: marketing and cross selling. So here's a guy that wasn't doing well, says he's not doing well in business,
Don't
says he's
show it
not
on the
sure what to
form, by
do.
God.
Yeah,
I gotta
gift card
prove that I won't do
promotions
well.
do not show on forms. And then check this out: if you open up his gift cards, how many did he sell? Zero. Well, you're not fucking promoting them. Obviously, you sold zero gift cards, right? When I see this too, and I see that, like if someone asks me, hey, Sean, take a look at my account, give me some marketing advice, something, I do that from time to time. If I go through and one of the first things I check, gift cards, it tells me if it's an online sale or a manual sale, because you can enter a manual sale, right? So I could go enter in, let's say I sell one in person to somebody, right? You enter in a manual sale because you're not selling it online to them. If I go through and I see there's zero manual sales, I'm like, how many customers this week have you asked after their appointment, would you like to give the gift of a clean car like what you just received to anybody else? We have gift card denominations in 50, 100, and $250. Which one's best for the person you're thinking of? That's it. That's the pitch. That's all it is.
It's a great pitch. It's a great
Thank
pitch.
you. Thank you. And then another good follow up is, who was the first person that came to your mind? Wife? This, that, daughter, what is it? There's ways you can play it off. Boom, you get them thinking about it, and they're like, you know what? Fuck yeah, my daughter, she deserves a clean car too. You lean into it. So when I don't see those
I'll give her
sales,
$50.
see, exactly. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like, it could be a little. Which one's your favorite, the son or the daughter? You can play it off different ways.
She
Absolutely.
ain't getting 150, but hell,
Yeah,
I'll give her $50. Yeah, you guys did a good job. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
absolutely. See, exactly. And so when I see things like this, where it's like, gift card promotion, do not show on form, it's like, why? Why would you take
Yeah.
away your option to, like, it's just
Mm-hmm.
crazy to me. So those kinds of things.
Low
And
hanging fruit.
yes, exactly. So now we'll dive into some packages. So we've got auto detailing, detailing add-ons, why those are
I just
separate.
want to go to detailing first.
Yeah, yeah.
Please. Please.
What do you want to check out? First, because I'm curious. Ooh, no
I want to
description.
know what's in it.
No description. Who knows? They didn't put a description. And do you want to know how easy I made it for you to put in this description? Check this out. I'll do this live. Um, please write a paragraph advertising my detailing services. We do interior and exterior. I'll just say keep it short.
Pretty basic.
Keep it short. Yeah, right? Like, look, boom. All right. We send it off to Luna.
Luna, Luna, Luna,
Luna, Luna,
Luna. You got to get
Luna.
that
Yeah,
song to play while it's doing it.
exactly. Look at this. Boom. Copy response, right? Then I click here and I go Control V. I know that's a lot of work. Control V. Boom. Right? Now it gives in some stuff because it's just guessing because I put in a bullshit company name on this as a test. But it gives you some stuff. Unlock the beauty of your true vehicle with our premium detailing services, and then obviously
Right. You
check.
need to do some edits.
Yeah, and you go through, edit it a bit. You could even from the same AI prompt, you could just tell it, do it again, keep going, and so like see an example, so it even tells you an example of one. If you want to see, you could just click that, send to AI. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And like, how cool is that? It just gives you the whole thing. Like, hard to reach areas are tackled with precision through steam cleaning, ensuring a spot finish.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Like, man, you can't lose here. You know what I mean? So then you're like, oh, you know what? I like
Well,
that.
you can. You lose by not doing it,
That's true. You lose by
leaving it blank, and that's why I was so excited to get to the packages
yeah,
because we're going back to the tail of the tape. That's why we're doing this.
yeah,
Okay, so we got this open. Can you open up his schedule? But can you leave this open and go back to the schedule?
yeah. I can do both. Hold on. I thought I had it open. Yeah. Okay.
Because this is what I found interesting when I was looking at it. Right? Let's look at the fifth. Look at the 15th.
All right.
$199, 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah. Whew.
Hmm,
Jeez.
interesting.
Yeah.
There was another place over, I think it was the 12th,
Yeah. You know what? Real quick,
somewhere.
let's stay
Three.
on the
There was
15th.
another place.
Let's stay on the 15th for 1 second. We got a 2009 Ford Escape. Okay. Customer booked. Now, what I'll do, I'll click it and then I'll blur it before I post it because it'll have the customer info and stuff. Sound good?
Okay, I'll blur.
I'll blur it. No, I'll blur it on the screen. No worries. So okay, here we go. We got 2009 Ford Escape. This is what I wanted to see. It's booked for auto detailing interior package. Okay. And then they have SUV, 2 rows of seating. They charge $199 for that. Okay. So let's look at the details here. I won't blur that when I post this. So interior package, passenger vehicle, level 2, cloth or fabric. There is pet hair. Seats have stains. Vehicle has smoke smell. Passenger vehicle, fabric, he has it all over again. Dan from Mobile Install sent me. So this is a referral you got, okay? And they have stains, pet hair, and they need a vehicle mess condition of level 2. Okay? And we're charging $199 for this on a 2009. So my one big question would be what kind of results would the customer be hoping for? But also, what kind of upsells could you do for a 2009? Are you going to sell him that 9-year coating? Do you think he's interested in the 9-year coating? Might be a good idea to look at some other options. So first thing I would do is I'm checking the windshield.
6 months sealant, $20.
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah, yeah. Exactly. So 2 front window tints, maybe sun visor strip because you do tinting as well. Maybe a 1-year coating. Like stack for sure. There's different things that you could be upselling there. Headlight restoration probably in '09, I imagine. Stuff like that. There's things that could be upsold to this customer that you're just completely missing the opportunity of, right? Engine bay cleaning, 2009, man. Let's give that thing a little refresh. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Why on earth weren't those part of it? And he was a referral. A referral. That's like the easiest thing in the world to upsell. Oh my God. They're already coming in with trust. You don't have to build up the trust. You know, it's as simple as being like, you're a referral and we have a referral bonus. Usually our engine detail is $45. I can get it for you for 20 though. You're a referral, you know? Oh my God, that's
All
amazing. Thank
right.
you so much. Sorry, I'm going
So
off here.
look at the day before.
All right, 14th.
Mhm.
All right. So we got 2 jobs here. We got Audi S6 customer booked as well, and then we got one that was entered in as a tint. So going through here, so we got customer booked, auto detailing, interior package again. This time it's different pricing, 179. Oh, look, they they upsold the hand wash. All right. So interior package,
Oh, okay.
179.
So his hand wash upsell, gotcha, is
Goes to the
if you're
interior.
buying just an interior and you want
Okay.
an exterior wash. Okay, could have been said
Okay.
better.
Yeah,
Could have
yeah.
been said better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And so okay. So $20 there, 179. Leather seats. There are salt stains. Seats have stains. Jeez. Right away, I think the pricing could use some some adjusting. That's
Okay,
true.
but let's say this, right?
What?
Because we don't ever want to tell somebody what they should charge because we don't know
True.
what somebody's situation, we don't know the customer, right? And
Very
right,
true.
somebody in Tulsa compared Nick and I get to use this, right? Nick
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Vegas, his customer base and their needs are much wildly different than my customers and my needs and my cost of living
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
Tulsa compared to Las Vegas, wildly different.
Wildly
Let me
different.
tell you
That's
about
true.
it.
That's true.
So
That's
I
true.
I don't need to make as much. So to me, it's never been about the money, the number,
Yeah,
but more about what makes sense as a business, what makes sense to have the most success.
yeah,
That to
yeah.
me is what always I want to look at, right? So
That's
it,
fair, and
it
that makes
does
sense.
make more sense now, the $20 on the hand wash, but I would have changed it and should it be what comes in $20? I mean, how far are you going?
Yeah,
I will give you that that number does seem it seems slapstickish. So then
yeah,
that means I'm not really going to get much out of. I don't know what's
yeah.
involved.
Hmm. I
You might
agree.
say that 179 for an interior package is not enough. I might say that, geez, that seems like a lot. The seats are leather. What's really going to happen? There's some like okay, so there's some stains. Like okay, huh,
Yeah. Oh,
what's his
perfect.
problem?
Yeah, yeah,
But overall, right? Like the before you get into the price and how much of that is, why I wanted you to open this up, if you'll back out of it,
yep. Sure thing.
is I want us to look at
Jeez.
on the 15th. Take your guy off. Okay, no, take it off. Like so it doesn't. There we go. All right. So on the 15th,
Yeah,
they had a service for 2 hours and 30 minutes. It was $199.
yeah.
Let's go somewhere on a journey.
All
It
right.
seems very, very basic. Seems very, very basic. Well, the day before, he spent an hour more and made
Yeah,
the exact same amount of money.
yeah. Jeez.
Uh once we clicked in it, there was this, there was that. I go, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
There was add-ons. I get there was this. How are we spending an hour longer
To do
with the
the
same amount of money?
yeah, that makes no
We
sense.
got a problem, right?
Yeah,
Like I think you got to start going, hey, there's a
there's a
problem
problem
here.
here.
I've got an issue.
100%. 100%. I'm curious too. Like if I look at this day here, the 19th, right? This is one of his larger days, right? Or even the 8th. He's got 3 jobs that day. And I look at things, and oh, this is an interesting one actually because one of them says 15 minutes. What's that about? Let's see, 15 minutes.
Window tinting. It's
Okay,
just the
this
same guy, isn't it? He
yeah,
upgraded.
this obviously just wasn't entered correctly because like you're not doing a 4-door sedan plus a sun visor in 15 minutes. So
15
obviously,
minutes. Yeah.
yeah, we can assume that that 15 minutes.
So when you say he's entered, how does somebody enter that wrong? When did they
So
enter it wrong?
so when they create the event, I'll show you. But here they could change it to something if it takes longer or something like that. But what they would do is they would click edit. I'll show you like when you create a new event, for example. I'll open this in a new window. So I go create a new event, and then this is where time required. So you would set like 3 hours, something like that. The cool thing is there's a magic wand here. So if you have your time set for things, I don't know if they do. Let me see. Yeah, they don't have any time set for stuff. They should. Maybe they do for if I choose. Let me just try a random one, a coding here. Let's see. Okay, so the 5-year coding, 10 hours. Jesus. Holy
They
shit.
only offer a 5 year and a 9 year.
Yeah. And the 5-year level one takes 10 hours. 10 hours. They're running a parking lot, not a detailing business. Holy
I'm
shit.
wondering why their calendar's not full.
Yeah, that's fucking hold on. How long does the 9 hour take? Or the 9 year? 7 hour. What is going on here? Okay, I have no
Right, so it gets
idea.
confusing. I'm guessing, right, because we've been around long enough, we understand that he's going to have pricing based on. I bet you level 1, 2, and 3
Yeah,
is like amount of correction.
yeah, absolutely. And because his 9 year, it said 7 hours if I do this. Then if I do his level 2, it goes up to 10. Is level 3? I have no idea.
Yeah, it's got to be the amount
15.
of correction he's
15
doing.
hours. Can you imagine that though? 15 hours. Whew, man.
Idiots,
Yeah, it's sitting there for
idiots.
a long time. Oh, and just to show you, like, look how easy it is for him to add his upsells. So he just goes here and he goes engine bay, hand wash, and
So
now,
you go 5 year, 9 year to 6 month spray for $20.
yeah,
Okay, okay, my guy. Okay,
yeah, yeah. It's a big jump, huh? I don't think he knows about the small, medium, large, how that works. Jesus. Hmm. So that's how they enter in the time required, so on and so forth. Um, but yeah, if I go back to where is he here? The calendar. So like one of his busier days. So here, 918. So let's see. This one here, for example, we've got auto detailing interior package. Okay, hand wash add-on. So it's the same thing. And this one is 199. I'm assuming because it's a pickup truck instead of the other one was a sedan. So there's a different price there. And then once again, there is pet hair. So it seems like they're dealing actually with a lot of stuff with pet hair. And that to me would be one of the add-ons, the upsells. I'm surprised it wasn't. Like they didn't have pet hair as an upsell. Um, I don't know, because me, like there's people with pets and there's people without. That's an upsell for us. Pet hair every single time.
agreed.
Yeah, and that's
Oh,
where you know, I
so he's mostly doing a lot of it, and I get it, right? It's January. He's doing a lot of interior work. He should.
yeah,
Good for him.
which makes total sense, you know. But at the same time, I think there's just some
93 Escort,
which
2008. Yeah, he's got an interesting customer base, doesn't he?
holy shit. You know what?
He's got an interesting customer base.
Yeah, it's funny you mention
He's
that
got
though.
he's got Dodge. I don't know if people have been seeing that. His 20 to
Yeah, let me show you.
21 year people are Dodges, and then
Yeah,
he's got a lot of old cars. Like
yeah. I know
interesting
that too.
customer base,
There was something I
right? When
wanted to
you
show you.
got flies, when you got
Yep,
flies,
exactly. Let me see. Client demographic. Oh no, it's up. Sorry, I went the wrong way. Client demographics. 'Cause that's what I wanted to show you. So here, look. So once again, you can go in your stats, the insights report, and you get all this wonderful data, and you can learn things like male customers, 62%, female, 38%. So as that guy said, for example, a lot of housewives are going back to work. Somehow that impacts their vehicles. What do you got? You see something there.
don't go all the way over. Repeat
Repeat because
customers.
that was on my
Oh,
list too. Yeah, 4%. Woo!
oh,
Brutal. Brutal.
oh. Well, and
Yeah.
it's brutal because you have to keep working that hard.
Yeah. Because you're constantly fishing. You're constantly fishing. And that's tough. You know what I mean? And it's 4%. Like, ooh, man. It's that should have a zero beside it at least. You know what I mean? Like once you clean someone's car once, there's not really any reason
Mhm.
unless they stop driving why they shouldn't come back to you, you know? But if you look here, average year 2017, most common years 2021, 2015, 2022, 2026, 2020. Most common brands Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, Nissan, Subaru. So that should tell you a lot about the kind of marketing you should do, right? The kind of people you're targeting. Common
I'm
models.
curious if he doesn't know brands and models because none of the brands match the models that are the favorite.
and it, bro,
Like none.
oh, we do
Wait,
have the
okay, Toyota Camry. Okay,
yeah,
I didn't see that.
and
Okay.
then the Ford, and then the Toyota RAV4, Nissan Rogue. Yeah, he's got them in there. But
Oh, okay, 1500. Okay, my bad. Oh, my bad. I'm the one that messed it up. Okay.
all good, all good, all good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
I
also,
thought 1500 was Dodge.
mm,
Dodge 15,
no,
but you're
because it
right.
was
1500? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to remember now when they became Ram.
Okay, well, Ram, Dodge, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I know. I'm trying to figure out how it is in the database too. But yeah. So he's these kind of
And
stats.
Toyota RAV4. Yeah, Toyota Camry, Toyota
Yeah,
RAV4, Nissan Rogue. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay, I'm the idiot.
No, no, no worries. And so here too, you could get stats on the cities, the amount invoiced, so on and so forth. You're gonna like, there's just so many stats that you can get. But like, see here, look, cancellations 10, completed jobs, appointments. It's like, holy Jesus, man. Carfax reports 0. Way to go. 6-month coding is really doing well there, eh? But
Let me sell you a 9 year.
9 year. Yeah. Woo
I won't
woo.
do any all month, but let me keep trying to tell people I have them.
Exactly. And look, if he offers all these different services, packages, and stuff, in my opinion, like complete package, okay, good. You're selling lots of those. Interior package, good. Engine bay detailing, that's up. Dar hair. Oh, okay. He does have dog hair removal charges, just not under his upsells for some reason. But headlight restoration, looking at the age of a lot of the vehicles he's dealing with, that should be a lot higher, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You can code it after you fix it. Just saying. But
Mm-hmm.
so there's all those different, okay, wheels coated, so he's offering 9 year coatings and he's only done one ceramic coating on wheels. It's crazy. Like it's just, I don't know. To me, it's these are the easiest things in the world. Ozone odor removal, he did one, but I think we read at least two or three cars there that had smoke smell. It's just it's little things like this. You deep dive. This is the end of game reel, right? This is where
Mm-hmm.
you go
And
through.
this is what. My bad. Go ahead.
No, no worries. But the big thing is like you got to put the shit in the system too, right? So you can't just expect like, oh yeah, well, my business, I don't really know how it's doing or what's going on. It's like, well, okay, you have this amazing tool, but it's only as good as what you feed it as well, right? And so if you aren't putting things in the system, you're not putting them in the right way, just make it part of your operating procedures. It's easy for people to have a team to understand that concept because they've built a team. They know, like, I know I have to have SOPs. If my guys aren't following those standard procedures, they're going to just go off the rails and the business will be fragmented. It's going to be just a complete mess to figure out what's going on. But if I have them follow a set of procedures and I say, guys, you got to put the price in on every job, you got to scan the VINs, you got to this, put the odometer reading, all of those things. They go through and they put all this stuff in, put the right pricing, put the right description, the proper amount of time something's going to take. At the end of the year, those seeds that you sowed are going to bear fruit and you get to reap the rewards by looking back at the game tape and it actually makes sense. Right now, Marshall and I are deep diving into this account and we're trying to make heads or tails of things that are probably half entered, half not entered, or entered incorrectly, or this and that. It's a mess. Marshall, just put yourself in the shoes of like business investor. Someone approaches you and says, "Hey, I got my detailing business. I'm going to move on to other ventures. I'd like to sell it to you." And you see this, you're going to be like, "Nah, I'm good. I'll pass. I can almost guarantee it." You're going to be like, "The
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
is this?"
I wouldn't even go that. That guy won't even make it that far.
You wouldn't even make it that far. Absolutely, but
Mm.
if you
Won't
have
make it
your
that far. That's why I think the reason why I say you look at this stuff. Oh, I keep grabbing the mouse like I can pull it. That's what I was doing.
what way you want me to go? Up, down?
Yeah, I don't know. I was pulling to go up.
Fair. Oh, this is
But
interesting.
it's so that the reason why is you don't have to be the coach yelling at somebody,
Yeah,
but you should yell at yourself if you don't make changes,
yeah,
right? I mean, if you
100%.
actually can look into this black and white, non-emotional, and
Yeah,
look and study, and you would go, okay, if I have this, and it shouldn't be done with a judgment about that you failed or that you were great. That's
yeah,
the first part of it. I don't want you to look at it and go, I suck.
yeah.
Okay,
Because that's
okay.
not the intention here. Yeah,
Look at it as in, hey, I made some mistakes. I've made mistakes. You made mistakes. I think it's why we call mistakes because we
yeah,
know there was times we failed, we fucked up. Okay, cool. Let me just go listen. It wasn't so great. What my best appearance? What my
yep.
greatest day?
Had
And
better.
I can move on and I can go back here and look at my month and go, all right. I had a lot of details. I had a lot of this. Okay, if I had my package this way, okay, if I had it this way, maybe,
Mhm.
maybe is the word.
Yeah,
Maybe next month, if I change this, I'll see a change,
yeah,
right? Then
absolutely.
I've got to go through next month. Fuck,
Yep.
if I suck, I got to look at myself again and go, not
Okay.
a great month. Didn't do so great. Let me
Yeah,
look at what I did. Did I make the changes? Did the changes that I did improve on what I was trying to do?
yeah,
If so, cool. I don't have to have such a dogmatic approach of like I suck. I can go, listen, I'm less suck.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's seriously, it's just minor improvement, step by step by step.
right? Creed and Rocky, one
Hmm.
step, one punch,
Yep.
one step, one punch. You even heard it in Creed 3 at the very end, where he's like,
Hmm.
okay, listen, there's a big giant thing. I just need one step, one punch. I didn't do so great there. No worries, man. Let me just do one step now, one punch now. If I can keep coming back to the tape month after month and go, hey, maybe it's week after week if you got enough time to do that.
Hmm.
Shit, I guess this guy should. He's got so much free time during the month. He shouldn't
Working
wait till
three
the end of the
hours a
month.
day, Jesus.
He should he should do it every week, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, did I do what Sean suggested with that pitch? Did I go back and record that Sean told me the pitch and then did I say it? No, okay, I need to go back and record it because I didn't say it all week long. Let me
Yeah.
get to this the next week. Okay, did I say Sean's pitch? How many times did I sell something? Okay, and then right all
Yeah.
along while I'm still doing everything else. And that's the moment that if I can look at myself, not be judgmental, and just look at black and white, what actually produced, I can make
100%.
changes in the real time moment, and I can
Yep.
either go forward or go backwards on certain things. If you'll do the job of looking and
Yeah.
uncover and keep digging and keep questioning, well, why? Well, why? Well, why?
Yeah. And that's how you win at this. And that's where, like, we didn't have these tools, 5, 10, 15 years ago. We would have killed for something like this, and then you get some lazy guy that just goes and doesn't even put shit in. But it's like, listen, if you're detailing by yourself and you're doing 10 cars a day or something crazy, I get it if you're short on time and some things don't get entered in right away. I hope you're going back at night and putting those things in or whatever on the, in between appointments, whatever off time you have. But in this case, the guy's working 3 hours a day. Why isn't he putting in details? I went through and clicked on customer profiles. There was nothing put in there. There was no information about their hobbies. Do they have, when all the appointments with pet hairs, I literally took time today and went back and cross referenced every single one of the customers. Not one of them did he put in the type of dog they have, the dog's name, nothing. How many pets it was, if it's a cat or if it's a dog, nothing. And it's like, that's your biggest opportunity to build those relationships. You reach back out to the customer, you say, hey, Craig, you haven't been in for 3 months. I was wondering, you got your little dog Cookie, and she must be shedding all over the place. We'd love to get you back in and, take care of that pet hair for you so it doesn't impact your breathing, your respiratory system, and also that way it's a nice, fresh, clean car. Simple, basic
Or
shit.
simple, like we've talked about, like just sending customers stuff about dogs.
Yeah,
Stop
100%.
bugging them about you and what you're going to
Yeah,
do for them,
that's
but
true
just,
too.
hey, I noticed that when you had this dog here, and we talked about your dog Molly. Hey, I saw this the other day. Like I thought you might be interested in it. Now AI
Yeah,
did it. You didn't fucking do it, so you don't even have to
exactly.
worry about it.
It's true. It's
But
funny
I would
because
have taken the time to have done all that back in the day when I didn't have what we have now.
yeah,
Those are
exactly.
great. I think these are going to be a lot of fun. We could keep going. I mean, we could. So
Yeah.
let's
I
get
tell you
off
what,
and
while I have it open though,
let's
give
do
me,
another person's again because this is the fun stuff that I think would be right. We have
yeah,
it. What
I
was
think
your
it's
busiest
hugely
day? Oh,
important.
here's your slowest. Right. We could go
Yeah,
into all this, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to dive into somebody's time and go in and look at all this
absolutely.
and how they could rearrange their schedule.
Yeah, it's true. If you give me just 2 minutes, just on that note, because you look at this busiest week.
The bouquet has to come. The
Yeah, yeah,
bouquet
I know,
can't
I know, I know.
stop. The
I'm sorry.
bouquet's still
2 minutes, that's
coming.
all I need. 2 minutes. Busiest day a week, Friday. Slowest day, the day before, which is crazy to me, right? And what this indicates to me is a lot of letting customers dictate exactly how your business is going to go versus you finding ways to fit them in certain slots. You're not making it convenient for them to be there on other days. And that's where, if my slowest day of the week is Thursday, I'm going to start running a Thursday special. And I'm going to have something on Thursday to build that day up so it gets
Why
busy.
restaurants have Tuesday, their kids get in free. Tuesday's
Exactly.
the restaurant days, the slowest, so that's
And
why
they
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 do
know
that.
that, and they're like, well, shit, we got to do something.
Mhm.
And then, as part of my last two minutes here, two big things I noticed. So, artificial intelligence, booking rules. This is the AI that will literally reach out to past customers for you and boost them up, because the three ways to get customers, right? Get more customers, get existing customers to spend more, or get them to come back more often. He's got one rule set. You can set as many as you want. The AI will
9 months.
9 months for a detail. We saw you
Mhm.
9 months ago. Are you kidding me? This should be set to 2 months. I'd even put it 1 month to be honest, but at 3 months at the maximum. You know what I mean? You want to see these guys four times a year if you can. That's number one. Number two, we'll go back to marketing. Upsells and auto. Well, we already went through that one. Where was it here? Sorry. Lead follow-ups. So new customers, right? He's got one lead follow-up after an hour. That's it. And then you don't hear from him again. Okay. And guess what it says? Are you still interested in booking an appointment with us?
Gosh.
It's the biggest rookie.
Terrible question.
Terrible, terrible, terrible question, right? And after an hour, which is crazy, because first off, this will send out to people if they start filling out your booking form, for example, and then, oh shit, their phone rings, they're taking a phone call, whatever. They've now been entered in the system. And if they don't complete that booking form within an hour, the system sends them a follow-up. You still interested in booking? And you think that's going to bring them back? No, they've already come back to the form and they either abandoned it or whatever. But you're asking them such a silly question, in my opinion, right? This needs to be something more thought-provoking, something informative, maybe about, your packages or things they're interested in, stuff like that. Just this isn't the right way to go. We can spend a whole episode on how to structure these kinds of messages, and we'll do that next time. But I just wanted to more show the fact that when you get a guy that's not doing big numbers and reaches out to me personally and says, "Hey, I'm struggling. I'm having trouble. I think the CRM is the problem. That's why I'm not busy enough." And you look at shit like this and you say, "Man, there's so much more you can do." Listen, just spend a little time. I sent him a video. I went through and walked through how to set these things up, and this was the result of his efforts. And I personally felt cheated because I was like, I spent 35 minutes going through this in a personal video for you, and then this is what the result was, and you tell me it's big effort that you did, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, and like Marshall said, this isn't to criticize, this isn't to put you down, this isn't none of those things. It's just this is the coach talking to you, looking at the game tape and saying, hey, the reason you fumbled that pass, the reason no one threw to you, you weren't in an open position to receive a ball, this is the end of game tape. And I hope you take something from this that's constructive and you push forward, you put in the work, you take step by step, and you just literally improve day by day by day. And you're going to make mistakes. You will. Tomorrow you're going to try some shit, but don't do this and then tell me you gave it your all. Because if that's the case, trust me, there's other places that you should probably, go make a resume or something. I don't know. But this might not be it for you. Because if this is your 110% effort, and after you hear this and you just still do this kind of stuff, we got a bigger problem here. But take the constructive criticism, take the feedback, do something positive with it. There's a lot of stuff in OrbisX, absolutely, but that's the bonus. That's not a weakness. That's a strength that you have in the palm of your hands now. You're fortunate to get all of this for a small monthly fee. It's literally incredible. I even just what I showed you where you could write your own thing with AI, just your descriptions. That alone, you used to have to hire a writer and you'd pay them $50 a page and stuff like that. You have this in the palm of your hands. Take advantage of it, use it, and grow your business. I'll leave it there because I could go on for days, but we'll deep dive in another account. We'll go into other stuff next time. And yeah, guys, let us know your feedback, how you're liking these episodes, if it's helpful. And yeah, man, drop us some stuff. If you want us to deep dive in your account, we can do the same thing. I'll change the name, everything, so no one knows like it's your business, whatever. But let me know, and we'll do what we can help because we want to see you guys grow and succeed. Yeah. That's it. Awesome, man. Appreciate your time. All right. I'm off before I drop another bouquet. All right, man. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time. All right. Cheers.
See you guys.